Hi, hello, g'day, kia ora, welcome to the studio. I'm Paula from MoxyMojo and I have no idea what I'm doing. Today is the 18th of December and the prompt is Mini Pocket Letter and Specimen. Now, in my entire crafting history, I have never made a pocket letter, a mini pocket letter, or a specimen. I know. I can hear all the gasps of horror. I just never got around to making any of them. So, and now I've been thrown in the deep end because I've got to make a mini pocket letter and a specimen. Is it too late to take a mulligan on this one? Okay, so we are going to wing it and hope for the best. I've got these leftover scraps of cream card, or I'd call it like paper, heavyweight, medium weight paper, that I have cut into 3x8. And I'm kind of cheating here because they're already cream. So that kind of means that I've already got like a base colour down, which is awesome because, yeah, making it up. So I've pulled out some of my lighter Distress Oxides and one Distress ink because I don't have the oxide in this. So I've got Ice Spruce, Antique Linen, Old Paper and Vintage Photo. And I wanted sort of lighter colours that can just be in the background before, as I start to build up layers of colour. So I'm going to use some background stamps that I've got. Let's start there and we will go see what happens. So what I'm going to do is, now I've got my craft mat down because it makes cleaning up with whatever kind of mess I throw so much easier. For these background stamps, I am going to use my block just because I find it easier. Now, I don't know how well this antique linen is going to show up. So we will give it a go on the first one and make a decision from there. But because it's the oxide, it may show up a little bit more. There we go. Oh yeah, does show up. Awesome. So I'm just going to keep going. And so as I mentioned, yeah, to be honest, I'm just going to play. That is that all done. Okay, so what I want to do now is almost more focal images in terms of stamping, but not really. So they're going to be smaller stamps. At the moment, I've got no idea what the placement is going to be with these, so it doesn't matter what goes where. We're just placing them down. So I've got these. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn them over so I'm not being influenced at all by what goes where. And I'm going to turn this now into my specimen. So the first thing I want to do is, and I was going to score them, but I figure I can, because they're so lightweight, I am just going to finger press them. This is probably going to be the most tedious part of the lot because we need to do some measuring. So now what I want to do is I'm going to have like a 1/2 inch border around this bit up here and a window in here that is 2 inches by 2 inches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to repeat this on these 3, and then I'm going to cut through both layers. Okay, to cut this square, I'm using my basic grey magnetic cutting board, which I've had for goodness knows how many years. I've got the scrap of paper magnetized down, so I've got the 4 magnets holding it in place. I've got my cutting blade all ready to go, and I'm using a metal ruler to guide where I'm cutting. Move these all out of the way, and then one comes out. That's good. Is the other one going to come out, or do I just need it on it? Yep, there. And do I just need to do, oh no, there we go. So, and then what I will do is just fold that the other way, and there is my specimen frame looking awesome. And I've got a couple of scraps for collages or something. So I'm going to carry on and do the rest of these, and then I'll be back with you. Okay, so I've just turned them now inside the other way, and then we're just going to really give them a good press down this time the right way, so I know that they're going to stay there. Alright, so that's looking awesome. So now that, I mean, doing it that way, even though it was a fair bit of hassle, it's made it a lot easier in the long term because I know that the squares are going to match up. So I don't have to worry about that. So now next on the agenda is I want to ink around the edges, but I'm just going to do the inside edges at this stage with Distress Oxide Walnut Stain. And I'm going to try not to get ink everywhere for a change. So, right, anyway, I will leave that there because I'm going to come back to do the outside edge. but we've got like our frame done for these specimens. So what I'm going to do now is I've got a range, so I've got a selection of different plastics to try for this. So I've got here, this was a sheet that had stickers on it that I've finished with, or it's almost like same as what was the protective sheet on rub-on, so it's that, so it's quite thin. So I'm going to try some of that. I've got a plastic bag, like one of the self-seal baggies. So I'm going to try that, though it has got like a hole in it. So I've got to just bear that in mind. I've got an offcut of an L pocket holder, which hopefully I've got enough of. I've already used a wee bit out of it. You can see that, cut that hole in that. And then I've got a Glad snack seal bag, which I'm going to try as well. So, I mean, part of why I'm making 4 is to actually try out different plastics as well, just to see, okay, well, what's the best thing for me to use if I'm going to make some more of these. So I'm going to start with this little wee baggy thing, just because that's kind of the easiest one. So what I'm going to do is I want to slide that in and fit it in there. Bearing in mind I've got this great big crease down the middle of it. So I can slide this in, and there's going to be that hole there. But, I mean, that's no biggie really. So I can use that, which I might do anyway. So I'm going to leave it there. So I want to have maybe 1/4 of an inch on either side. So I need to trim this, and I might, rather than scissors, I think I'm going to use this, because then I can say, right, so this needs to be, so there, that's 5 centimetres. So if I cut this at 6 centimetres at least, then I am good to go. So if I cut it at, say, 6.5, I can always trim it down to less. So we're going 6.5, that's there. Yep, so that gets rid of that gluey bit. So I will put that in the rubbish so I don't get stuck to anything. And now, there's my whole bit. And I'm going to cut this at 6.5 as well. Alright, so now it's sealed on 2 out of the 4 sides. So that, where are we? Oh, there. Doesn't matter which one for. So there I can stick that in like that, and then it will seal up the other sides as I put it in. So that one's ready. Now, this is going to be the fun part, I think. Now, we're going to glue. So I'm going to put a fine bead of glue all the way around. Is that too fine? No, I've got it on there. Hopefully my hair isn't in the way. Sorry if it is. So just putting this glue all the way around. Right on as close to the edge as I can get. Now, opening is at the top. So I want that to be there. There. And then I may need to put some more glue up the top here. Because it's not ideal for what I want to do. But we look to be okay. So I'm just going to put in a smidge more glue on this one. Just because I want to make sure that this is absolutely sealed down to the frame around there. This edge there. Cool. Right, so I'm going to let that sit for a wee bit. So here we go, back to our first one. So now we've started to tear on the side, so I'm just going to tear that completely. The bottom seems to be okay. So what I need to do now is stick up the sides together, and I don't need a lot here, but I just need to make sure that I don't have too much. So I'm going to stick it kind of out here quite a bit and as far over here as I can get, and kind of like squeeze the glue to the outside. Oops, because I don't want any glue sneaking into the middle, because that'll mean I can't fit the full window space in there. Right, so that's done there. So now I'm going to glue it together. So here we go. Here goes nothing. So there. Now we only want to glue not across the top, so we're gluing the bottom, the side, this window side, bottom of the window here, that window there, and then across the top here. And then we're going to do in there. And I'm going to come up the sides. And we're going to hope that that is all right. Alright, so just be ready for excess glue there. Yep. Now, it must have just slid sideways a smidge, but that's okay. That is what ink around the edges is for, or ink around the outsides. That looks pretty cool. I like it. So now I'm going to stick all the rest down and together, and then hopefully we will be ready to slide our specimens in. Okay, so these are all stuck down now. So I am going to ink around the outsides, starting with the one that I first did, because that should be the driest. Alright, so we've got that so far. So now I need to find something to put in it. And I have pulled out from my swaps from Tanya. So I've got this big butterfly, which I think is going to be too big. So I'm going to have to fussy cut a couple of butterflies out of here. So I thought, well, I've got this one here. Then I've also got like these sideways ones, which I thought would look quite cool. So these 3 for me to fussy cut it. So now you don't need to see this. I'll be back once these are all cut out, as well as something else. Okay, so I've pulled together some bits and pieces for just putting, finishing these off. I've just got like something stuck in the middle just to make it easier for me on camera for sliding everything in, just so that you don't have to see me fumbling too much. So I've got my butterfly that I have fussy cut, and that was from one of the swaps that Tanya sent me. I did cut off the antenna, so what I thought I would do is maybe put a little bit of thread underneath and see if we can still have that sort of appearance. I don't know if it's going to work trying to put it in the pocket. Who knows? So we will put that there. And of course what I will need is some kind of base for it. Because the other thing is there is like writing on the back of this, because it was in like a magazine or probably a book about butterflies, I'm guessing. So I was actually thinking this paper would be really cool because there's like something like this on the background. So I thought if I tore this, tore like a square around here. So we're just going to tear this because this is like some jelly print paper. So we don't want to like waste any of this. I can use it in another project. And I just want to have the white edge on all four sides. And then hopefully it's not too big. I need it to be, I maybe need to tear this off a wee bit. Might be a bit, just a smidge too big. I don't mind if it's that's okay. So now we've got that, and then I am going to just kind of wrap this thread around around my fingers and kind of push that on there, and then we are going to adhere our butterfly down. And probably on an angle. I'm just deciding what angle. Oh, that one there looks quite nice. That's cool. So now we can, so this was, this is the one from the packaging with the hole in it. So I don't know if this is a wise choice or not. But, sorry, I was just getting in there, just getting it started, the first little wee bit. And this is our test to make sure that we've got enough room there. And we might just need to tear just a little bit off this edge. Just to make sure that we fit in there properly. Awesome. So there is a specimen there. So we've got our butterfly in. And I mean, the way that we've made this is you can swap out depending on like kit colours or, you know, journal colours or something like that. And then on the back we've got, you know, quite a nice decoration, or you can put something else on the back there instead. I'm going to leave it like that. So now we need some kind of label for the front, and I've pulled out kind of all the specimen type labels that I've got. So we want like a botanical collection one. So hang on, so I am just going to and these are all pre-cut labels that I've cut from printables. Some of them are freebies, some of them are ones that I've bought. I can't tell you kind of who it is because all of my labels are all just kind of lumped in into one great big label storage container. So we've got botanical ID, and I'm just going to put it off to one side, and then on this side, what do we want? I haven't got out too much, but we'll put maybe a little wee mushroom. Done. Finally. Yep, I quite like that. I do like it. So, awesome. One done. The other thing I thought I could do in here was I've printed off a sheet of Louise's people, and I'm sorry I don't know the name of the kit off the top of my head. I will put it in as a note and link to the kit. And all I've done is, because it comes in you get like sheets of, I think it's 4 by 5 people, and they are like, when you print them out on, at least on A4 paper, because that's what I have, you get 2 by 2 inch squares. So all I've done is I've cut out a pair of faces. And so what I thought I would do is I want something, and that's right, I was just going to use a little bit of this to create the mere hint of a pull tag. So I want it to be, actually just fold first, Paula. So there. And this is just a scrap off the side of my paper. So I've just folded that in half, and then I'm going to glue it together just in the bottom. Very lazily glue it together, I might add. And then I'm going to glue this together and leave this sticking out the top. But we want that there, so my tab needs to stick out, or it can stick out. Well, it can stick out quite a bit. So about there. So if I go and then it's around about the middle, so stick that down. And I printed this page on 110 GSM photo paper, just single-sided. So there we go, that's that. And we want there. Whoops. slightly off kilter, but that's okay. So now what I'm going to do is take my ticket out and hopefully not lose the gap, and then we are going to very carefully, because it's still wet, but slide that into our gap there. So now we have the couple on one side and our wonderful laughing gentleman on this side. Now we're not going to call them specimens, but what we can do is, and I mean this is an idea for if you don't have like specimen labels or the specimen labels like this, or printables or anything like that. I mean, if you've got like just a scrap of paper, and then I've got a stamp that's like a little wee like external frame, and all I'm going to do is ink that up, and this is using that archival ink, the same one I used before, and then I'm just going to, hopefully you can see it, stamp onto here. There, that's pretty cool. It hasn't stamped evenly, but that's okay because it's kind of very cool distressed look. And then if I want to, I've got like this is number 7, but it's that tiny you may not be able to see it. So number 7, you could trim around it . Voila, we have just made a very cool label. And then if you wanted to get really fussy, you could then ink around the edge, throw it around, you know, jump on it. So there we go. So throw your glue at it, knock that over, spill everything else on your desk, and so there we go. We could have a label. So now let's just kind of bump it up a little bit. We want that blue. What else do we want? I'm going to stick that there. That's quite cool. No, that'd be too much. Okay, let's just start with that. So we're going to go right there. Let's throw a bit more on there. And we're going to put that there. And then label. Right there. I had it originally further that way, didn't I? Never mind. And then, what have we got on the table? I want to put a mushroom on. We can perhaps finish it off with flower. Why not? Gentlemen like flowers as well. Ah! And we are just going to make sure that it sits on top like that. Now, you could spend ages decorating these further. You could put all sorts on there, whatever you liked. But I quite like them just like that. So there. Now, the only thing, well, what else do we need to do just to finish off? We need to grab our journal and find a page to attach these to, or in a pocket or something. So we've got a pocket there. That pocket's full. Where else have we got a pocket? In here. And here. So that one and that one. What have we got? Oh, we've got something big on the back of there. So maybe we go into there. So we can put our actually I want to do them that way around. 1, 2, 3, and then this one I'm just putting on this side because it's got the sticky out bit. Don't want to get caught on that flower. So that is those, and we need to do our date stamp. I think we might put it along there. Why? Because I can. Right, we're going to try and get the December in there this time. Oops. Sorry, missed that one. But there we go. No, that says the 16th, Paula. That means you must have missed the date yesterday. It is the 18th. Oh, look at that. Almost kind of nearly looks correct. So now you need to go find the other one and fix that too. Okay. Right, despite from my one little wee hiccup, which we're going to ignore, I really enjoyed this. And I think I'm going to be making more mini pocket letters and specimens. And maybe some mini pocket letters and some specimens. But these were cool. I hope you had fun. I hope you give this a try. And I will see you again tomorrow back in the studio. Bye for now.